We are with the homeowner down at the installation of the iControl. This is the homeowner, John, and I'm going to run through some basics with him just to show him how the iControl works. So John, we've got down here this old and crusty pump. That's your old one.
Yeah.
Your electric sump pump, so it plugs into regular AC power.
Gotcha.
That black piece right there is the switch. There's a float underneath that comes up and down and turns it on and off.
And you put this in, right? This is all new.
It is. We just made it look better.
Okay.
The cables and stuff, we tidied everything up. We put a new switch on.
Gotcha.
The pump is original. Your switch actually wasn't working.
Yeah.
So we replaced it.
Great.
That's the new pump. That's the new sensor. So this sensor, when the water reaches this sensor right here, that will turn the pump on.
And does that look about where the water should be on a regular basis?
Well, what happens is this float down here, the water gets to about where the tip of my finger is, and that's where this electric pump activates.
Gotcha.
So what Tim did, the installer, he set this to be about a couple inches higher than that level.
Okay.
So for any reason, the water gets higher in the pit than it should, the backup pump's going to trigger.
Good.
And since it's AC and DC, it doesn't matter if the power's on or not, it's going to be able to run.
And this is a new battery you put in too?
Brand new battery, yeah.
Okay.
And that pump actually will do higher pumping capacity than your primary pump will.
Good. The backup pump has a higher capacity?
It does.
Okay.
It does. You had these check valves, they're not that old, they're good check valves, good brand, good quality, so we didn't replace them.
So the backup sump pump has a bigger capacity because by the time you hit the backup sump pump, you're in real trouble.
Well, yeah, and that's a mistake
Okay.
that a lot of people make.
Okay.
That's a good point, because a lot of people will say, oh, I don't need a big backup pump, it's just a backup.
Right.
But if you need a backup pump, that means you probably don't have power, and if you don't have power, it's probably a big storm,
Yeah.
which also means the water's coming in faster than normal. So
And that is the Calvary. Nobody else is coming.
that's it,
Right.
right?
Okay.
You're down to your last stand.
Okay.
So the pumping capacity of a backup pump, in my opinion, is much more important than the pumping capacity of a primary pump.
Sure.
Okay, so
That makes perfect sense, by the way.
so we've got this piping was in place. A lot of times we'll run a separate pipe up and out, but this is the way it was, and you know, it's good cast iron piping. And
Do you know what? It's an unfinished basement. I'm fine with this. I like the fact that I can now be alerted through my iPhone or my computer or text messages,
right, yeah.
or it will call me.
Right.
That's what I wanted. A couple of my neighbors here, thankfully a little lower
yeah,
down the street than I am, have had disasters recently. So that's why I wanted to do this.
well, everything plugs in over here to the controller. This box here is the controller. It can turn the pumps on and off. It's connected to the sensors and all that. This keypad is your interface to it. So if you wanted to actually stand here and tell it what to do or see what's happening, you can interface right here with this. It's all pretty logical, pretty intuitive. The keypad and the buttons, the LEDs tell you certain things. This is your battery. It's a maintenance-free battery. Probably replace it every 4 years.
Okay.
The unit will keep the battery maintained. And as you've already pointed out, this system is self-testing, so it'll take care of making sure everything's working just the way it's
How often
supposed
does
to.
it test?
The default is twice a day,
Okay.
and that's adjustable. There's no reason to adjust it from every 12 hours, so we'll just leave it there. Lots of different features and testing configurations and things are adjustable on this system. It's kind of an industry first.
How long will the battery last if I do lose power?
Well,
Depends on how hard it works.
does depend on how often it's cycling, and what we kind of tell people is, okay, let's take a 5% duty cycle, and I think that would be about 10 seconds, maybe every 2 minutes or so. At that rate, 10 seconds. So 10 seconds every 2 minutes. Let's just say that's 5%. It's close. And most people will say, yeah, that's probably about how often my pump runs if it's really raining hard or whatever. At that rate, you're going to get 4 or 5 days of running time.
Okay.
So if it's running more often than that, then of course that number decreases.
Okay.
So what this system will do, as you pointed out, is it's not only just connected to the internet to be able to get an email and a text message out to you, but when you get that message on your computer, or your iPhone or iPad, or at work, wherever you are, you can actually touch a link right in the email, and open up an interface that looks just like that keypad
Okay.
and operate it, see what's going on, silence an alarm, test the pump, change settings, whatever you need to do.
So even if my son or somebody else is here and hears the alarm, he doesn't necessarily have to come down and mess with it. I'll get the notice and I can control it from here.
You can control it, you can silence the alarm, and maybe you're concerned that the alarm came in and you want to double check, so you're going to run a test
Right.
and confirm whether that alarm is something to be concerned about or not. The point is that you now have the information. You're armed with the information to make a decision whether there is an emergency or not. Do I need to get a plumber over there or a serviceman of some sort over to the house to, maybe do some repair work or whatever before most people come home and
Yeah.
they come home and they just didn't know.
I don't like surprises.
Yeah, exactly. This eliminates surprises. It arms you with the information.
That's a great system.
So in a moment we'll discuss the technology side of it, and I'll show it to you on an iPad and what it looks like and how you would actually control that.
Great, great. It's a great system, Jeff. Nice, very nice job.